Got him. Good one. Get up here, fish. Off this isolated tree down here. Whew, this is a big one. Oh, he's got crankbaits all over him. Woo! Dude, look at that fish. Oh, welcome to part 2, guys. That's a giant for out here on Hudson. Just finished up part 1. You might have seen that video where I was crushing him on this crankbait up on that shallow rocky flat, and just made my way up the river here and started fishing some isolated pieces of cover out in the middle of this big flat. And man, that's a toad. Same crankbait, that KVD 1.5 in the Chartreuse black back. If you haven't seen the first video, I crushed him, caught about 16 pounds in 10 minutes. Check out the link right here. But otherwise, just stay here and watch me catch some more big bass on this crankbait here on Hudson Lake in late August. Whew. Look at that. I'm just getting a weight on this guy for y'all. I'm seeing 460. I don't know what y'all are seeing there, but that's a toad for out here, and beautiful bass. Now, pretty much, if I put my 4 best fish from last video plus this one, I have probably about 18 pounds here in the first 2 hours of my fishing day. So pretty good day here on Hudson Lake. I'm really liking this lake. I'm gonna put this guy in a live well just for pictures later. Awesome, guys. So again, fishing that KVD 1.5 in the Chartreuse black back color here, and I'm fishing this bait with size 4 Gamakatsu EWGs. I always switch out my treble hooks on these crankbaits, just help me get the fish in the boat a little bit better. And all I'm doing here is just fishing on a big open flat. If you look out here to my left, we're just out in the middle of a big flat, and I actually had to put a marker buoy underneath my trolling motor here to keep the prop up, because I had to go through about 18 inches of water to get through here. And all I'm fishing is there's just a little isolated laydown out here, and once you get over this flat, there's a little bit of a depression. And these are great places to catch fish in the late summertime. What'll happen is these bait will migrate from the main lake over these flats into these little ditches behind the flats and get isolated pieces of cover like this. And all I was doing was taking this crankbait and running it down the edges of this isolated log, and right when it popped free, that fish grabbed it. And I'm making multiple casts on these logs. A lot of times these fish are sitting a certain way, and your first couple casts might not bring the bait right in front of them. So when you get a good laydown like this, I like to make 7 or 8 casts to it before I move on. And today's only my 3rd time fishing on this lake, so I'm surprised I'm catching them so well. But the thing I like about this body of water is that it's a really good pattern lake. What I found early in the morning is those fish were relating to these flat, shallow areas that have bait on them. And so I've just been replicating that around the lake, looking for these flat, basically rocky areas that have a little bit of deep water running into them, and that's where I'm getting all my bites. Good one, actually. Crap. Oh, get off there, fish. Well, how did this happen? That was a little guy when I hooked him, and now he's hung on this log. There he is. Good one. Whew, look at that guy. Nice. It's probably another 3-pounder here, just off another isolated laydown. That's a big head on that fish. Pretty skinny though, but there's actually a little bit of current flowing today, guys, on the upper end of this lake because of some rain yesterday. And these fish just positioning on these isolated laydowns, just pulling up in this current, chasing bait up here. But I'm gonna get this guy unhooked real quick, and I'm gonna put it in the live well and get back to fishing. There we go. Yeah, that fish has a bunch of sores on him. I'm not really sure what that's from, but nice bass. Awesome. Again, this is on that isolated laydown right here, and it's the exact same pattern I was running before. If you can look actually out here, you can see a bunch of other laydowns I fished. I probably fished about 15 since you last saw me, and this time of year it's pretty typical to only catch fish on a couple of these laydowns on the main channel on these big flats. So just hit as many as you can in a day. I'll try to hit 30 or 40 if I can. Just make maybe 5 or 6 casts on each of them and then move on. I just have the trolling motor set on like 5 or 6 a day and running down the bank, throwing this crankbait, catch a bunch of fish.
And the reason there's a lot of bass setting up on these isolated laydowns today is because there's a lot of current running through Lake Hudson. Whenever you have current, bass are going to pull up behind pieces of cover like logs and rocks and sit out of the current and ambush bait that rolls over the top of the log or around the sides.
And when I'm fishing a laydown like this, normally what I want to do is fish down both sides of the laydown. A lot of times these fish will be sitting on one side or the other, and if you only cast at one angle, you might miss that fish. So I probably made 5 or 6 casts to this spot before catching that fish. So I'll just make casts on both sides, and I'll also make a couple casts across it as well, just to make sure I hit all the different angles. Normally I won't get this close to them, but I just kind of drifted up on the spot after that last one. But I'm hooked on a rope, but just do that and you'll be able to pick a few more fish off of these isolated laydowns. And this laydown pattern I'm fishing today doesn't just work on these Oklahoma lakes on the Neosho River, it also works on the Arkansas River. That's actually where I learned to do this, fishing on Lake Dardanelle in late August. And I've also caught them in Lake Washita, which is a deep clear lake doing this, and on the Tennessee River. So it's a pattern that works on a bunch of different types of lakes and all over the country. So definitely try it out next time you're fishing in the late summertime. Well guys, I'm done for the day, but I hope you like these videos on Hudson Lake. I had a blast catching a bunch of fish on the squarebill crankbait. And if you enjoyed, hit like and subscribe down below and share these videos with a friend. It would really help me out. So thanks for watching and we'll see you next time.